please be seated. This court is now in session.
I'm already seated. Judge?
Silence in the court. Mr. Avast, right? Mr. Avast, yes. I apologize for my tardiness there. I was at the hairdresser's and we have the comb got stuck in my eyebrows, but we are here.
Those are some very bushy eyebrows you have.
All right, Mr. Avast. Now, in the cases, the aforementioned cases, who exactly are you representing here today?
The contested community here in the contested community court, representing obviously the MVP and Rookie of the Year picks your bushiness. So that will be the play.
It's your lordiness?
Your lordiness. Okay, your lordiness. Well, that will be the docket for today and what we're presenting for you due to your many years of school. And I imagine traveling abroad based off that accent. I mean, where might that accent have been located from?
Yeah, it's that accent's in North Uptown.
North Uptown?
Yeah, that's just south of Main Street.
Just south of Main Street.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
So North Uptown is south of Main Street.
Let's just hear your arguments, Mr. Avast. I don't want to hear none of your objections, Mr. Avast. Now, who will you be presenting first, Rookie of the Year or MVP?
Yes, your hairiness. So lordiness. So we will be presenting, obviously, first our MVP candidate. And this will be Jinmu, actually, as the contested community MVP candidate here for the court's consideration. And listed under the filings in subsection A, article Bronze SR, is that Jinmu gets more blades than I have IQ points. So we submit that for your...
More blades than you have IQ points. Is that you personally, Mr. Avast, or those that you are representing?
This would be those who I'm representing, so it's more of a collective pool of intelligence points there. If you imagine it's sort of a commune of intelligence. Now, remember, this is from my Discord, so... The numbers might be a little low.
Mr. Avast, I need some numbers here. Now, if you're saying these two things equal, do you have either statistics on the number of people that Jinmu has bladed or the IQ of those that you are representing, Mr. Avast?
Well, to be honest, I don't have the exact number of blade kills, but I do have something that will give you the range. So if we imagine this more of a mathematical problem, and I know that due to the incredible complexities of your mind, your furriness, lordiness, is that there is you're obviously going to understand some of these simple logic puzzles, in that if Jinmu, we assume to have more than 0 blade kills, and my average Discord community is about 0 on the intelligence scale,
yes.
on one whole scaled, we can assume that Jinmu has at least 1 blade kill.
Makes sense. I'm following.
And there's the reasoning.
Seems rather sound. I see no flaw in these arguments, Mr. Avast. I can see why you're representing them.
Yeah, I did not spend 20 minutes in law school for no reason.
Wow, that's more than I have. Now, your second argument here on, I do believe, is Rookie of the Year. Who are you proposing as the Rookie of the Year candidate, Mr. Avast?
Well, your shagginess. In that is
you know what? I actually like that one.
You like shagginess?
We're gonna keep shagginess.
Shagginess is good.
We're gonna keep shagginess.
So we actually have a
court interpret shagginess correct, please. My title too.
And write it down as well that you can refer to me, scribe, as Lord McHugedong. So for the Rookie of the Year consideration from the contested community, they have listed Exy as their choice due to these following factors here in the filings. 1 is beautiful. 2 is really good at video games. 3 had to go home to Korea to fix their severe neck pain after the weight of their bowling ball-sized brain nearly crushed their spinal column.
Now, I must admit I was not listening to your arguments, Mr. Avast, as I was fixing my beret. I lost it, but,
why are you wearing a beret on top of your wig?
It's very common fashion in North Uptown.
In North Uptown?
Yes. It's anything not from North Uptown is just sparkling hats, but I assure you this is a beret.
So from the Uptown region of North?
Yes. All right. Well... Now, I've heard your arguments and taken them into deep consideration, and I do have a ruling first on your MVP candidate being Jin Mu. Now, of course, in these matters, it seems like you have picked now two individuals with extenuating circumstances. Now, you did not mention this. However, the Chengdu Hunters coaching staff, of course, the team that Jin Mu is a part of, is currently in a catastrophic state of disrepair.
Objection, hearsay. The Chengdu Hunters have performed excellently. You don't have to look at wins or how many titles they have, okay? You just have to look at how many hearts they've touched.
Do you have statistics for these hearts that have been touched, Mr. Avast?
Well, based off the Weibo statistics, it's looking like at least 3 to 4 billion.
Now, I believe the hearts you're referring to are likes on the posts calling for the heads of the Chengdu Hunters coaching staff. Is that correct, Mr.
No,
Avast?
this is the inspirational angels in the outfield type of play.
I feel like you're misinterpreting or misrepresenting the facts, Mr. Avast. So I find that this case is not going in your favor. I do not agree with your arguments.
It is not?
No, one of those. No.
It is. That's a double negative.
You are not guilty of being MVP, Mr. Jinmu.
Jinmu is not guilty.
All right, let's hear your XCR. Wait.
That's you.
That's me.
Yeah, you're furriness. That's yours.
You will sit there and hear my judgment.
Yes.
On the XC.
That's how court works.
Now, same with your bleeding hearts and thinking minds arguments. I find that your extenuating circumstances, this case, is also insufficient to rule XC as the Rookie of the Year campaign. Do you have any objections this time, Mr. Avast?
Obviously, I have objections once again because you are overlooking the fact the scale of the medical bills here from XC's brain and how it is as dense as a neutron star. Thus, the compression of the spine,
Yes.
and obviously his resulting play, and his incredible good looks. You're missing both of those.
I additionally find that insufficient. The extenuating circumstances are insufficient because if we were to take into consideration bills and fines levied against players in the league to matter for the awarding of these prestigious awards that we are awarding, then Crystal would have all of them. So, taking that into consideration, I also find...
I would also like to object on that. Those are fines, not so much bills. These are very separate things.
I don't understand
very
money.
Separate things, your rug ship. Two very different things.
Well, that's a separate case. I think you'll have to present that in a separate document. For now, case closed. Court is no longer in session. I find your arguments insufficient, Mr. Avast.
Court is now in session here in the contested immunity court. I am Judge Av, unrelated entirely to investigative reporter Av. So this is more in a judiciary role for myself. And we will be hearing, I believe it is Jayne to represent the contested community and their MVP and Rookie of the Year candidates for Overwatch League Season 3.
Yeah. Hello, Judge Av. I'm so happy to be here. Like, long-time listener and watcher, first-time caller, first-time lawyer. So, yeah, big fan of the programs. And Judge Av, you've always been great. I really appreciate it. But
I know.
Yeah, yes. Sorry. But yes, of course, here on business. So, lawyer time. I know you're role-playing a judge. I stayed in a Holiday Inn last weekend myself. So, yes. But I am here, of course, representing the contested community here and presenting two dockets. One, of course, being the Rookie of the Year case, and the other being a case of most valuable player of the Overwatch League.
Well, let's start then, I think, with the MVP candidate. And this is, once again, the community, not you. You're just bringing forward the community's ideas here.
Yeah, certainly. No, I think that these cases that I have collected, they're certainly...
If you don't start speaking more succinctly, you're about to catch a case of these hands, Jayne.
Right. I apologize, Judge Av. I'll get a little bit closer to the mic and speak a little bit more dramatically, because I understand that this is a TV drama.
This is very serious here. We started this court. This court started at least 3 hours ago. It's existed for a long time here. It's the fabric of me choking on this beard. That's it. This is my real beard too. We'll go on.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Isn't that longer than
Go
both
on.
of us went to law school?
I'm an elected official. I don't go to law school.
All right. Well, I'd like to present first the community's case for MVP. Now, if I may, I've had nothing to do but think over these past few weeks about who should be the MVP. Really think about our bloody history, the mistakes that we've made so far. But really, what unites people? What unites fans? Is it armies? Gold? Dragons?
What the hell are you saying? What is this Game of Thrones?
No.
Are you doing Game of Thrones?
It's what unites people is stories, Your Honor.
This is Game of Thrones.
No, it's not.
No, this is Game of Thrones.
There's nothing in the world more powerful than a good story, Your Honor. Nothing can stop it. No enemies can defeat it, not even in overtime. And really, who has had a better story than Fearless?
That's Game of Thrones.
No, Your Honor. Fearless is not in Game of Thrones. He's part of the Shanghai Dragons, which has had the most glorious story, not just in Season 3 of the Overwatch League, but the Overwatch League as a whole. Sorry, you wanted dramatic.
Well, plagiarism is a separate court. This is more of this is a civil court versus a criminal, but that's fine. So let's hear then the contested community's Rookie of the Year candidate. Are you okay over there? Or
Sorry, I'm doing my close-up.
Oh,
My Les Mis close-up.
Scribe, can we write in the record that the Jayne representing the contested community is wasting time, and in addition is blatantly plagiarizing storylines
Your Honor,
from books that will never be finished.
Your Honor, you just don't appreciate timing, dramatic timing, good timing, silence. You know, it's I don't know, one of those things. But what I do know is that I also do, of course, have a candidate that I am presenting on behalf of the contested community here, and for Rookie of the Year, they are presenting CR0NG, also known as Krong, the off-tank extraordinaire from the Guangzhou Charge. Now, I must say that one of the arguments here is that Krong is the type of maestro on Sigma that Sigma himself wishes that he could be. Now,
no fan fiction.
no fan
No
fiction?
fan fiction in this court, please.
I mean, that's like
This sounds dangerously close to fan fiction.
it's like 90% of my arguments, Your Honor.
Then that's not a good sign.
All right.
That's not a good sign.
Now, I do have 10% of my arguments remaining. Now, of course, Krong, being a new individual being talked about in the community, a lot of people didn't even realize he was a player who existed until some commentators started talking about him. And then they didn't even realize he was a rookie. So, there's a lot of hype. He's definitely been on the upswing. So gaining a lot of popularity. And because, of course, he is an APAC player, he has the advantage that nobody in North America actually watches the Guangzhou Chargers game. So nobody has any counter-arguments about why he should not be Rookie of the Year.
That's a pretty convincing argument, actually. I haven't thought about that one before. And I mean, I have at least 1 to 2 thoughts per day. So this is pretty interesting for me. I guess with that in mind, we will make our ruling now. The court will rule for the MVP and Rookie of the Year candidates presented by the contested community and represented by Jayne. So we'll start with the MVP candidate, which is Fearless as the potential choice. And I think I'll 100% be ruling against Fearless as the MVP candidate.
Objection.
You can't. Only I can gavel. You can't.
I'm not
can't
gaveling. I'm just fisting.
No, you're.
Objection.
No. Stop that. Order in this court, or I will send you to the gulag. Okay, I will. I have that power.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
I have that power. Do
Please
not
continue.
question it.
Please continue
So
with
I
your
will be ruling
arguments.
against Fearless simply because I watched the final season of Game of Thrones, and it pissed me off everything you said. So Fearless is not MVP. So followed up by Krong as the Rookie of the Year candidate. And you did bring up a very convincing argument, how most NA viewers do not watch the Asia Games. And as myself, I don't watch the Asia Games. I mean, I can barely watch. I can barely watch any games, honestly, in between my repeated showings of.
It's all the time you spend streaming. You don't have time to actually watch the games.
That is exactly right. Now, I'm Av, not Avast. And as you notice, Av is more of a beard going into their mouth type of judge, not a streamer. So that's more the thing that they do. So I will say for my final ruling on that, no, because I don't like Charge fanboys. That's mainly the biggest thing. I'm tired of hearing about Charge and how Charge is the greatest. So Really, and people keep bringing up Krong as Rookie of the Year and blah, 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 blah. Honestly, off tanks, you're going to have to get over it. You're just going to have to get over it off tanks, okay? The Krong's not Rookie of the Year. No.
Well, Your Honor, I don't have any counter arguments at this moment, but I would request a recess to try and gain more arguments and maybe actually watch a few of the APAC region games to counter some of your.
No. Let's talk about Eagle Gaming instead. Court dismissed. Court dismissed.
Okay.
Eagle Gaming, court dismissed.
Drinks?
Drinks.
Drinks. Drinks.